So please engage in that as much as possible, okay? Now, I want to look at some of the reasons that really resonate with me with that statement. So why is it the old ways of selling don't work anymore? What's changed? How has selling changed? Well, we all know selling has significantly changed over the last 10 years. In my opinion, in the last couple of years, right? I think we can all agree that COVID-19 has certainly sped up this evolution, right? Professionals and executives across the globe are even more time poor than ever before, right? Everyone is fighting for C-level time slots. I think we can all agree on that, right? Demand for information is ever increasing. A lot of executives are not answering phones, but they're doing their research. So 80% of buyers are now doing their research before talking to vendors and suppliers. And when you get on the phone with your potential prospects, right, they already know about you, right? The other thing is business owners are constantly hunting for more efficient practices to save costs and create more out of less, I guess. And I can really see this change in my business. Like it's been really hard to reach professionals lately. It used to reach perhaps 10%. So if you make 10 calls, you reach, whether they're warm or cold calls, right? Or even existing clients, you reached about 10 to 15% of those, right? It's now less than half of that, right? So my clients are also expecting more out of less. So I've personally had to be on the hunt for ways to modernize my sales engine and create better automation so I can access real-time contact information, real-time intelligence, and provide a better service to my clients, right? So I guess on that note, Tony, I'd really like to understand from your experience, I guess over the years, and I guess over the last couple of years, what do you think are some of the reasons why selling has changed in the last 18 to 24 months?
Hey, Matt, just before I jump into that, maybe kill the slides and we'll just be a gallery view for everybody for the conversation. So the thing we know is there's a whole bunch of trends that are creating headwinds for sellers. There are some businesses that are fortunate enough where what's gone on with COVID and lockdowns has actually helped them, but for many, it's made it tougher. And the reality is 2020, 2021 has been a catalyst year for accelerating things that are already going on. So what we know for many organizations is average deal sizes have been getting smaller. The need to gather consensus before you get a decision inside an organization has become even greater. There's definitely the sense that there's increased competition. So it's increasingly easier for buyers to try and make what we provide a commodity and get other people involved in the conversation.
Sure.
And the failure rates of sellers, especially in B2B enterprise selling, the failure rates are getting higher. I'll commonly see in organizations failure rates of 70% and above. And it's really a common thing. So from the buyer's side, they feel that they're getting blasted and spammed to death. The average person receives well over 100 emails a day. So it's increasingly a very noisy world. So it's tough for buyers to find a way to break through.
Fantastic. And look, you've released a book recently. You've covered a lot of these pain points that I've mentioned. Can you tell us, in your opinion, what is tech-powered selling? What's it all about?
Well, the thing we know about the future is it's increasingly filled with technology, and there's no profession on the face of the planet that's immune to disruption. So whether you're a lawyer, a pathologist, an accountant, a pilot, every single profession, if anyone in those professions dares to say, look, I love what I do. I love being a pilot. I'm just not into the tech.
Yeah.
You can't be a pilot if you're not into the tech. You can't be a pathologist or a surgeon or an accountant or a lawyer. It can't be any of those things if you're not embracing technology. So we've always known that people need high IQ. Well, actually, you need reasonable IQ to succeed in sales. You need high EQ to succeed. But increasingly today, we also need TQ. We need technical quotient. We need to know how to use our tools, what I call our tech stack. We need to know how to use that effectively if we're going to get the level of efficiency and effectiveness that we need in our job.
That's great. That's fantastic. And I guess I want to direct a question at Thomas. So Thomas is one of the founding members of HubSpot to now running a very successful sales enablement automation platform, Triggr, which I personally use. What do you envision as some of the future technologies that you are really excited about for sales automation and sales enablement? What is baking in the oven, in your opinion?
Yeah, well, if I look back to even when we first started HubSpot in Australia, at least, which was 2014, it was a sales rep would be enamored just to be able to call an ebook download. And that was with the birth and formation of inbound marketing. And that really is, a warm lead. It's not a hand raiser, but being able to say, hey, so you downloaded this ebook. Should we chat? Well, that doesn't cut it anymore. You actually have to have relevance towards the event that's occurred. You have to actually have an understanding or insight behind that customer, rather than just saying, hey, you downloaded this ebook. So we've come a long way just in 7 years. And in terms of where things are going, it's going to get more contextual. It's going to get more predictive. And so for the sales rep, for them to stand out, they need to be more human. Because what we're seeing is that technology is going to start taking over more and more of the repetitive tasks. So where does the sales rep fit within that? Now, at the moment, there's the rise of sales engagement tools, platforms like Outreach, SalesLoft, HubSpot Sequences. Salesforce has high velocity sales. This is the formation of technology starting to take over those repetitive tasks. Now, there's two ways that can go. A lazy rep can say, great, I'm going to enroll 100 sequences and just bang, 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 bang. But there's no insight behind that. So the future of the sales rep is to be more human. They actually have to have that insight and then form the perspective behind it. Now, in the short term, I mean, right now, we've got video prospecting, we've got auto audio transcription. Deep fakes are out there on the web, and that'll soon get developed into usable ways for sales reps, I think, in the medium future as well. Canned responses, this stuff exists already. Now, in our space with Triggr, what we're working on in the sales intelligence space, you're going to be able to use public data to surface the next person that you should talk to. And you're going to see a world where you can benchmark your historical deals in your CRM, where AI will surface the next person and company you should talk to based off of what's happening on the public web. I mean, it's changing so fast, but there's lots of stuff to look forward to.
Tom, that's great, and thank you, Tony and Thomas, for those insights. And just look, there's three things I've taken out of that. Tony, I have to agree, average deal sizes are getting smaller. Look, I think failing rates, from what I'm hearing, so when I talk to my clients, one of the biggest things I hear is, Matt, our STRs aren't performing. We're struggling with top level pipe. So yeah, I do agree in that space. There are a lot more failure rates, and sales reps are moving from one role to another. Generally seems to be a 1 to 2 year cycle. And you're right, no one is immune to change. And I like your pilot analogy, because I know you have some experience in that space, Tony. My father was a pilot. He was a pilot for many, many years. And you're right, if you don't use the technology, the plane's not going to stay in the sky for very long, right? So that was very, very interesting. And Thomas, your insight's fantastic. Just you're right, the future is to be more human, or more automated at the same time. And we're really looking forward to that new technology. So look, just to summarize the first poll, it seems like the majority of the biggest problem seems to be not enough pipe. So 54% of people are struggling with net new pipe. Is that a shock to you, Tony? Were you kind of expecting that?
No, Matt. With all the companies I work with around the world, the number one problem, which is maybe a symptom of real problems. The number one problem they say they've got is not enough sales pipeline, and consistent, healthy, quality pipeline is a cure of all ills I typically find in selling. It's how you de-risk the forecast. It's how you avoid, feeling like you age a whole year of your life at the end of every quarter. Just to key in with what Tom was talking about previously, because I really agree with him. The danger for people today in them embracing technology is that if you just load spam into your Gatling gun of automation, these sales engagement platforms, email sequences, all you're going to do is damage your brand faster and alienate more people in the market that reply to you and say, please remove me from your mailing list or your database. So it's really important that we nuance the way that we use technology to get technology doing the things that we should not be doing, right? Those automatable tasks in the background, and then we drive strong human engagement. The future of selling is absolutely where buyer intent meets seller relevance, and the technology is doing the matchmaking, right? And Tom really alluded to this. If we think about our ideal customer profile, so I have clarity about the attributes of an organization that defines our ideal customer. So the whole world is not a prospect. So there'll be geographic things, vertical industry. Are they growing? Have they got other, technology or competitors incumbent that we're good at replacing or complementing? So we're very clear about the attributes of who we're targeting. Then we understand those buyer personas we're working with.
Yes.
And once we do that well, we can build good message and conversation narrative. But the other thing is we know what to look for in terms of trigger events. Give us that relevance, because buyer expectations today are really tough. Before we've even got to ask them one question, they expect us to already know them. So we need to turn up, showing them that we're researched and we've got a worthwhile point of view for them in the conversation, because they're certainly not interested in us. All they're interested in is how they can drive improved results in their role. So we've got to use tech on the background automatable things to drive stronger human engagement at the front end, especially.
I couldn't agree with you more, Tony. Absolutely. You've got to create compelling value fast, and you've got to show that you've done your research, because let's just say there's 15 other people that have called a C-level executive on that day and they haven't done their research. You want to be the one that stands out, right? You have to be, in order for them to, to listen to you, right? Yeah, great stuff. Look, so we're going to open up the session for a quick Q&A for the first point. If anyone's got any questions, please open the chat box and write your question. We'd love to hear if there's any individual questions that you'd like to ask. And I'll just open that up now. So we've got one coming in from James Bourne in Sydney. He's saying it's become increasingly harder for his team to reach senior C-level executives, and he's asking why this is. Look, I guess in my opinion, based on what Tony stated and myself, it is becoming increasingly harder to reach senior executives, because they're more stressed and busy than ever before. And the reality behind it is, can we improve that? Yeah, we use tools to reach people on mobile phones. Yes, we can improve that in a number of different forms by calling them at different times. But yeah, no, that's a very good point. Tony, do you have any input on that?
So the thing with trying to sell into the C-suite, they live in a very noisy world. And anything that looks like marketing or spam or anything that's from somebody they don't know, their immediate bias is ignore or delete. And if they've got an EA, they've got people getting rid of that. So we have to find a way to be highly relevant to them is the first thing. So talking about us is straight away an epic fail. The other thing is that we need to phone their cell phone or their mobile phone, right? And there's tools out there, including Triggr, who Tom works for, that can give you people's mobile phone numbers. So my advice is you need to pattern interrupt. You can see over my shoulder here, that's their book Combo Prospecting, but we need to pattern interrupt the way that people ignore us. But we need to do it with the right message, and we need to go at them directly through all of the relevant channels. So up in Asia, it can be, WhatsApp or WeChat, SMS messages, even sending people a calendar invitation. I know that sounds off the wall. You'd never do that in your first sequence, but in follow-up sequences, it's incredibly powerful, right? So the idea is you make their mobile device buzz and bing, so they think, man, this person's determined. I need to answer this or get back to them. Here's a really simple technique. Even phoning, if you phone and it goes through to voicemail, phone back again. Often they go, this person's calling back. It must be important. I'll answer the phone. There's things we can do, but if you don't have the right conversation narrative or the right message, you'll just be annoying, right? So you've got to show them that you know them and have a point of view about how they can drive improved results in their role.
And Tony, I've read your book, Combo Prospecting, and that actually transformed the way that I managed my entire business. For any sales professionals out there, I know Tony's got a few books out there, and in his new book, Tech Powered Sales, read Combo Prospecting. It works as long as you have a compelling message. The process is far more effective, and it does get people's attention, and you will reach people faster. Absolutely. Great stuff. Look, so let's move on to our next point in the interest